Tennis is one of my favorite sports, and I hate to see when injuries keep people off the court. Tennis elbow is one of the more common injuries, but hips, backs, wrists, and knees are all common ailments. The main goal here is to prevent injuries, but I'm not going to complain if you get a little more pop on your serve or start running down those drop shots. Let's get into it. Alright, so we'll all meet today in child's pose. Take deep breaths here and let gravity stretch out your spine. On your inhales, you can creep your fingers forward, and on your exhales, drop your hips back. Make sure you're breathing here. On your next exhale, work your way back up into tabletop for some wrist stretches. These stretches I learned from Flo over at Breathe and Flow Yoga. Tuck your toes underneath, stretch your fingers apart, and gently rock your weight back and forth from your hips to your hands. This should be a good wrist stretch, but shouldn't hurt at all. I also like to do circles around my wrists. Alright, now we'll point our fingers over to the side and rock our weight from side to side. Doing this warm-up is great for tennis players since we use our wrists so much. And now we'll point our fingers back towards us. Again, this might feel a little intense, but there should be no sharp pains. Alright, now we'll untuck our toes and move back into tabletop for some cat-cow. In cow pose, you're going to inhale and arch your back. And in cat pose, you're going to round your back and press down into the mat. This is a great series to help open up your spine and your hips. I even like to press my fingers down into the mat in cat pose to just help push down a little bit more and extend your shoulder blades. Alright, now we'll get back into a neutral tabletop. On your next inhale, reach your right arm to the sky, and as you exhale, thread the needle through and place your right cheek onto the ground. This should be a nice spinal twist. If you want a little more, you can press your hands together and extend your left leg back out behind you. Just do whatever feels comfortable for you here. Alright, slowly release. Inhale your right arm back to the sky, and then exhale to switch sides. Inhale your left arm up, and as you exhale, thread the needle through. Again, you can press your hands together and extend your right heel back behind you for a little additional twist. Alright, release back down. Inhale your left arm up. And exhale back down. Now we're going to exhale back into our first down dog of the day. Make sure to pedal your legs out here and take a few deep breaths. The main goal here is to create a straight line between your wrists and your hips. On your next inhale, extend your right leg up and open your hip up. This should feel really good through your side body. Exhale back to three-legged dog and step your right leg up through your hands. Untuck your toes, bring your left knee to the ground, and exhale up into low crescent lunge. This should feel great for your lower back and your hip flexors. Make sure you're breathing here and keeping your right knee above your toes. Exhale back into chaturanga, inhale into up dog, and then exhale back into down dog. Alright, we'll switch sides here. Couple deep breaths in down dog, and on your next inhale, inhale your left leg up into three-legged dog, and open your hip up to stretch out your left side body. Make sure you're breathing here. Extend back into three-legged dog, and then reach your left foot up between your hands, dropping your right knee down into low crescent lunge. Again, inhale your arms up to the sky, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, and make sure you breathe. This should feel great through your right hip flexor. On your next exhale, bring your hands down and exhale down into chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, and then exhale back into down dog. Take a couple deep breaths here before we walk back up to standing. And pedal your legs out if that feels good for you. On your next exhale, slowly walk your feet up to your hands. And exhale down into a ragdoll pose. Bend your knees here to help stretch out your spine. On your next inhale, slowly rise all the way up to standing, and let's meet at heart center. Take a couple deep breaths here and shake out your hips if that feels good. All right, come back to heart center, and we'll keep our flow going. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale back down into chaturanga. Inhale into up dog, and exhale back to down dog. Breathe here. Inhale your right leg up into three-legged dog. Exhale, step it between your hands, but keep your left knee off the ground here. Slowly inhale as you rise into a high crescent lunge, stretching out your left hip flexor even a little more here. Make sure to adjust your hips to push your left leg forward and left hip forward and right leg a little back. Make sure you breathe here. On your next exhale, come into Warrior Two. Make sure your right heel is drawing a straight line back to your left foot, and make sure that your right knee is tracking over your right toes. Breathe here into your right groin and hip here. As you inhale, reach forward. I like to grab a block as you come into extended side angle pose. Reach your left arm up to the sky and make sure that your right elbow is inside of your right knee. This should feel great throughout your right inner leg. Come back up into Warrior Two, and then exhale as you come into Reverse Warrior, a nice counter to that extended side angle pose. Breathe here. On your next exhale, windmill your hands down and come down through your vinyasa. Inhale into up dog, and we'll meet back in down dog. Now to switch sides. Inhale your left leg up into three-legged dog, and exhale, step it between your hands. Keep your right knee off the ground, and slowly inhale into a high crescent lunge. This should feel great through your right hip flexor. And make sure your hips are pointed forward here. On your next exhale, bring your right foot down into Warrior Two. Make sure that your arms are parallel and that your knee is tracking over your foot to avoid any injuries. Inhale, reach your arm forward or reach for a block. And come down into extended side angle pose. Again, your left elbow should be inside of your left knee here, pulling your leg open and stretching out that inner leg. Reach your right arm forward to stretch out that side body. And then we'll come back into Warrior Two. Again, exhale back into your Reverse Warrior as a nice counter pose. This should feel great along your left side body. And as you exhale, windmill your arms down, back into Chaturanga. Inhale into Up Dog, and then exhale back into Down Dog. Nice job, guys. All right, breathe a couple times here, and now I'm going to show you a great hip opening stretch. Inhale your right arm up, and bring your right angle to your left wrist. Bring your right shin parallel to the mat. I like to place a block underneath my hip, and then fall down into pigeon pose here. Take a little time to get comfortable into this pose, as we're going to stay here for about 5 deep breaths. You should feel a great stretch across the outside of your right hip, but this shouldn't hurt at all. Make sure that you feel comfortable here, and make sure that you're pressing through the top of your left foot and using your left glute to help support you. Again, breathe deeply here and feel that, and feel gravity opening up your right hip. All right, slowly inhale. Bring any props out from under your hips, and press back through your vinyasa into a down dog. Your right hip may feel a little funky here, so shake it out as needed. All right, now we'll move over to the left side to even out that hip stretch. Inhale, left leg up into three-legged dog. Exhale, left ankle to right wrist, and lay your shin down parallel to the top of the mat. Bring any props under your hips if that helps you out, and gently melt down into your pigeon pose. You should feel a great stretch opening up through your outer left hip, and make sure that you're engaging your right foot and your right glute to help support your weight. You shouldn't feel any pain throughout your knees here or anything like that. So if you feel any sharp pains, make an adjustment, or you can always come back into child's pose. Again, breathe deeply here and let gravity do all the work. All right. Slowly inhale and bring yourself back through your vinyasa and up into down dog. Again, shake your hips out here if that feels good. All right, we'll all meet down in a child's pose here. This child's pose should be a great counter and should feel good to your spine. Take a couple deep breaths here. Sitting in child's pose helps absorb all the benefits from a class like this. All right, slowly lift up and find your way into a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center, and we'll say thank you for this practice. All right, now I'm going to show you a little bit of shoulder flossing that I like to do on a regular basis to keep my shoulders and my back healthy. So I just take a PVC pipe that I got from the hardware store, and what I like to do is hold it out in front of me, and then what shoulder flossing is you can just do shoulder circles like this, hanging onto any sort of belt or strap or anything like this. It just helps break down any lactic acid build up in your shoulders, and helps everything feel good in there. You can do some side stretches. I also like to bring it back behind my back to do some tricep stretches like this, and to help massage the sides of your back and your shoulder blades. A lot of tension can build up in there. And I like to switch sides. And then I also like to use it to help massage my lower back, and then also to help stretch sort of the fronts of my shoulders and my biceps, as you can see here. and then we'll switch to the left. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.